The Widow's Mite, 2023 Update. A report on the state of wealth in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Updated in March 2024 with the latest reported financial data from the Church's 2023 annual report, Caring for Those in Need. Read the full report online at www.widowsmitereport.wordpress.com. Background. This report summarizes our updated estimates of church finances for 2023. Contents. The Widow's Mite report seeks to increase basic understanding of LDS church finances. We provide analysis and context related to church wealth and advocate for greater financial transparency. Our methodology takes into account all public sources of financial data about the church. We reconcile and analyze that data using the most reasonable financial estimation methods, and share our findings in a format that is easy to understand. Project sources. Church-provided facts and statistics, annual reports, and government filings. Media coverage, containing church-supplied data and quotes. Leaked documents, and please, do not send us confidential documents. Professional data tools. Web archives and numerous information aggregation sources. And prior studies of church finances. We have identified and evaluated hundreds of public sources. The LDS Church's wealth reached a new high in 2023. We estimate the Church's total wealth increased by about $29 billion in 2023 to about $265 billion. This estimate takes into account approximately $83 billion in operating assets, such as chapels, temples, and BYU campuses, and about $182 billion of investments. 2023 estimated LDS Church inflows and outflows. See the appendix for estimated value ranges, sources, and a discussion of the methodology used to create this chart. For 2023, we estimate roughly $7 billion in donations of all types, and about $24.5 billion of income from investment profits. In a change from church history, investments no longer fuel growth. For most of its history, the church relied on investment income to remain free of debt while aggressively building new chapels. At times between 1900 and 1965, investments supplied 5% to 45% of church income. By the 1990s, the church had shifted from dependence on investment income to saving a portion of each year's tithing, exponentially boosting investments. Today, the church's investment income eclipses tithing and all other donations. Investments dominate the LDS Church's financial picture. We evaluated sources and uses of church income, including investment income, on a rolling 5-year basis. A multi-year analysis smooths out market volatility, enabling greater clarity about historic financial policies and priorities. In the past decade, only about 1/3 of church income went into church operations. The other 2/3 of church income went into investments. Past estimates of LDS church tithing appear too high. We believe previous estimates of tithing relied on oversimplified modeling methodologies and as a result, were too high. These prior studies include the 1991 Arizona Republic Research, a 1996 study by Time magazine, a 2012 estimate by Reuters, and the estimates compiled in D. Michael Quinn's 2017 book on LDS church finances. Member donations have grown modestly. In 5 countries, representing about 4% of membership, the LDS Church is required to report its finances. These countries are Canada, the Netherlands, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and Australia. Overall, donations grew modestly in recent years, supported by membership growth and wage inflation, offset by a lower activity rate, as shown on the next slide. Donations indicate declining activity. If the modest rise in donations is adjusted for member growth, about 1 to 2% per year, and wage inflation, about 3 to 4% per year, it appears activity rates are declining. From 2016 to 2022, the implied average activity rate fell from about 25.1% to about 22.1%. A congregation with 200 active members in 2016 would have about 176 active members in 2022. Missionary numbers also indicate a declining activity rate. We examined reported numbers of LDS missionaries since 1999. Looking only at male or elder missionaries, the service rate is about 36% lower today than in 1999. This implies a significant long-term reduction in activity rates, as illustrated in the charts. Potential offsetting factors include reduced social pressure, early return, mental health screening, higher standards, and declining birth rates. Our predictions for church humanitarian giving. Last year, we observed a roughly 2 times increase in external humanitarian aid. We forecasted scenarios based on the observed trend and various public statements. In our forecast, we saw the church's humanitarian donations reaching $450 million to $1.1 billion by 2025. The church's reported giving for 2023 is a full year ahead of our forecast model. The LDS Church doubled its large humanitarian gifts again in 2023. This is not surprising, as the church later committed to this pace of increased giving. Presiding bishopric member W. Christopher Waddell said on CBS 60 Minutes, "We will double the humanitarian work again, and then again." If the trend continues, the church's humanitarian aid will match or exceed what it spends on member welfare within the next 1 to 3 years. The church's 2023 annual report, Caring for Those in Need, indicates a 5 times increase in humanitarian aid in the 2 years since 2021. Overall charitable giving accelerated from 13% in 2022 to 33% in 2023, driven mostly by increases in humanitarian aid, which includes cash gifts to relief partners and direct purchases of food, equipment, and other goods to donate to global and local humanitarian causes. Resource allocation is a reflection of priorities. The opportunity for the LDS Church to further increase its humanitarian work is massive. During the past 5 years, for every $1 of income allocated to global humanitarian aid, the LDS Church allocated about $5 to member welfare and $99 to investments. 2 Our church brought consolidation and monetization of hundreds of chapels. The October 2018 shift to 2-hour Sunday services meant fewer chapels could serve the LDS Church's 31,000 congregations. Accordingly, the number of chapels in use declined from about 19,500 in 2020 to about 18,400 in 2022, a reduction of about 1,100. The sale of chapels is likely to have provided a meaningful financial offset to rising temple construction spending. Large real estate purchases and sales are in the news. The LDS Church's investment portfolio includes a significant allotment, about 18%, in real estate. Based on our 2023 estimate of about $182 billion for church investments, direct and indirect real estate holdings likely total about $32 billion. Large purchases, like those seen in the news recently, occur when redeploying cash from sales of other assets, or as fresh surplus tithing is saved and deployed in the portfolio. The LDS Church is the second largest private U.S. landowner. The LDS Church owns at least 2.3 million acres of land in the United States. That is roughly 1 in every 550 acres of privately held land. States with the largest holdings include Florida, about 690,000 acres, Nebraska, about 365,000 acres, Montana, about 255,000 acres, and Texas, about 220,000 acres. 2023 court filings validated the Ensign Peak whistleblower. Church records submitted to the California Court of Appeals in 2023 show that Ensign Peak made $3.9 billion in total investment profits in 2003. That figure agrees with the whistleblower's timeline of assets held by Ensign Peak and related funds. This key piece of church-supplied investment data increases confidence in our estimates of Ensign Peak's assets and profits. The SEC settlement. The church and Ensign Peak used 12 shell companies to file misstated federal securities disclosures. In 268 filings, over 650,000 instances of untrue information were attested as truthful. An SEC investigation found that the church's first presidency and presiding bishopric caused Ensign Peak to violate the law. In 2023, the SEC settled the charges for a $5 million fine. The church cannot deny wrongdoing in this matter. Broader evidence of selective legal compliance. Our research found additional SEC disclosure violations at two church-owned subsidiaries, DMBA and Beneficial Life. DMBA, a nonprofit, manages retirement funds for church employees. Beneficial Life is a for-profit business that manages life insurance assets for members and non-members. 3 entities in violation indicates a top-down policy of selective legal compliance, not mistakes made due to bad legal advice. What could church wealth look like in decades to come? If there is no significant use of the church's investment reserves, we estimate the church will be worth $500 billion by 2033 to 2037. $1 trillion by 2043 to 2049. In the trillion-dollar scenario, 83% of church assets would be investments, while only 17% of church assets would be religious in nature. The LDS Church is one of the world's wealthiest institutions. In 1991, Victor L. Brown, a former presiding bishop, told the Arizona Republic that the church isn't trying to become wealthy and to have Fort Knox as a backup. Since the date of that quote, the church's investment reserves have grown exponentially, nearing the value of all the United States gold reserves held in Fort Knox. The church now has more than 30 years of operating expenditures saved, compared with about 10 years of expenses saved in the endowments of Harvard, Stanford, and Yale. Appendix. Notes to our inflow and outflow estimates. The Widow's Mite Report. All of the figures and data presented here are based on analysis of publicly available sources. See our webpage for links to all sources used, as well as our most recent studies related to LDS church finances. The Widow's Mite Report. All of the information contained in this report was obtained through analysis of publicly available sources. As new sources are found or published, our estimates may be adjusted. Please visit our webpage for all of our latest reports and estimates.